Hey, what is going on, you hogwash huntails? Today we're playing some games with the Wacky Wild Whale Lord V. It seems like every format, no matter what, I eventually make my way back to this deck to play some games with it and see if it still holds up to be the truly magnificent deck that it is, and it does. And I actually think it's actually pretty solid in this format. Pretty much everything I've gone up against, especially Mew VMAX, has felt like a fairly solid matchup, especially the Mew VMAX matchup. That one has felt like a pretty good matchup. And pretty much any other matchup, even when you have a matchup that feels like a bad matchup, you can always blow them out of the water with the triple heads on the Ocean Waves, which is basically the only attack we use in this deck. Sometimes we use drop, but we got the Ocean Waves in here. Flip 3 coins for each hedge, 120 damage for 4 water energy, which might seem like a bit, but between drop and, most importantly, and the most used way to accelerate energy into play that we play is this 4-3 Frostmoth line with the Ice Dance. Setting it up, it really is no problem. And even when we're hitting only 1 or 0 heads, we've got the Glimwood Tangles to help us get those reflips and hopefully be settling for 2 or 3 heads on each attack. So yeah, it's not too uncommon that we actually get those triple heads because of the Glimwood Tangle. And like I said, doesn't matter if the matchup seems bad or if the matchup's good or if it's like a close matchup. Sometimes you just blow any matchup out of the water with a triple heads on the Ocean Waves, one KOing anything that is being played in the current format. There are some Pokemon that can get to more than 360 HP, but no one plays those cards because, I don't know, they're not good. No one plays them though, so we don't have to worry about it. 3 heads, we KO anything with the Ocean Waves. Got 10 water energy in here, 4 Capacious Bucket, because we like to be really aggressive with just finding the energy, kind of thinning out the deck at the same time, and, you know, getting them in play on our Whale Lords with the Ice Dance. Another cool combo we can do is like Capacious Bucket, get the water energy in our hand, research them away, and then recover them like on the first turn with drop. And it's a little bit harder to do if like the Capacious Buckets were just basic water energy. When it's a bucket for 2, helps us be a little bit more aggressive. A couple energy retrieval in here as well, because we want to make sure we can get those 12 energy to be able to attack with 3 Whale Lords throughout a game without having to use drop. We don't always want to use drop, so we want to be able to have access to around 12 water energy throughout a game, you know, to get, you know, 3 Whale Lords set up and attacking. And we also play 3 Crobat in here. We're really aggressive with the Crobat, using it turn 1, turn 2, sometimes even turn 3 turns in a row, because we really just want to make sure we're attacking with Whale Lords on that second turn, and then every turn after that as well. So the Crobats help us a ton with that. So we play 3 Crobat in here to go along with our draw supporters, of course, which is the 4 research, the 4 Marnie, a couple boss, couple switch cards, and that is the list. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. If you're enjoying the content and you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into some games with Whale Lord. Okay, let's go. We get the coin flip win in this first one, and got the whale start, and we got a Snom start. Gonna go with, I think I'm gonna go with Snom here. I'm feeling Snommy. Yeah, we'll see what our opponent's playing, and then decide whether or not we want to level ball for a Snom immediately, or we could just hold this to get out a Frostmoth, and then if we top deck like a bucket between these next 2 turns, we could just have that, get that from there. Okay, Whale Lord down. Got a cape, but we could be up against Zacian here. Actually, capes are better on our bats up against Zacian. So I'm going to bench the Whale Lord, attach the Whale Lord in case we get Marnied, and I'm going to go ahead and pass. Yeah, it looks like we're up against Zacian here. Guru's not in too many other decks besides the Zacian deck, so I'm going to go ahead and assume we're up against. So the capes are actually a little bit better on the Crobats. Wait, no, they're not, because they can... Beyblade still KOs Crobats. So I guess the capes are just kind of not pointless in this matchup, but they don't do a whole ton, to be honest. They're kind of irrelevant. Yeah, there's the phone, so it probably is. Yeah, capes don't do much in this matchup at all, the more I think about it. They're kind of useless, because Zamazenta's hitting for 130, which is 260 over 2 attacks, which doesn't even 2-hit KO the Whale Lord V. And then Zacian is doing 270 or 230. Sheesh, 270. That'd be really good. 230, 230 plus the what's it called? Yeah, not enough for sure. So yeah, I'm not too concerned with the cape placement, actually. I had some matchups recently where the capes were pretty good on the Crobats, but yeah, 50 HP to a Crobat only gets us to 230, so Brave Blade is still KOing us, and Zamazenta, or Brave Blade is still KOing us, and Zamazenta is 2-hit KOing us, so not really worth. They discarded a research there, and don't even play it, actually. Did they forget that they were going... What's in their hand? That is very curious. That is not a good top deck in another switch, when that's what we're going to be looking for here off of this research, is a switch card and some energy. So I don't love that top deck. Go ahead and just play the research. Hopefully pull off an attack here. Even if it is just to KO the Orangaroo, I still want to pull off an attack this turn. We could go for it. Go ahead and play this bucket. 1, 2 switch to balloon left. We'd have to lose a stadium, and we do want our stadiums. I might just go ahead and wait here, to be honest. I'm not feeling like I need to be too aggressive. Go ahead and pass, because I'd be able to like Crobat for 3 only, and I'd have to get a switcher on air balloon because I can't put the cape on the Frostmoth, because then I can't put the air balloon there anyways. So then it would only be 2 out. So it'd be like a Crobat for 3, and then I'd be the first person to put a stadium in play, which I don't love. And if they KO this Frostmoth, as long as we have this whale set up, really it's not the end of the world if they KO this Frostmoth, to be honest. So I would also just kind of be fine if they KO the Frostmoth. So I think I'm just gonna play it a little bit slower here. Overall, another Snom, a bucket, a whale. So this is a great draw. We are whiffing or missing, still missing a switch card, but still a really good draw. Be able to start loading up another whale. Get another Snom in place. We have access to another Frostmoth. One thing I forgot to count when I went through my deck there, and one thing I do like to keep constant track of with this deck is just the energy in the deck, because we want to make sure we can attack with 3 Whale Lords. We have access to 14 energy total with this deck, because we have 10 waters and then 2 energy retrieval. So we only have access to 14 energy total. That's it. After that, no more energy. Or I guess we could like use draw up to recover energy, but we don't really want to be doing that. Oh my gosh, our second boss. That stinks, man. That is a stinky top deck. Okay, so 8. We did prize 2, and then we have 2 retrieval. So we have exactly 12 energy. Access to exactly 12 energy, which is the exact amount to use 3 whales. And that's what I've been finding I end up on quite a bit. Man, that is just... I'm actually like leaning towards discarding this Snom so I could bench another Snom that I draw into, actually. So that'd be a little bit more aggressive about thinning out my deck, to be honest. All right, bucket again. 2 waters, and actually we don't really need to put another Snom in play, to be honest. We're just gonna start swinging here. Didn't get a stadium, but I'm pretty confident we can go for 1 for 3 on our flips here. Yeah, losing double boss there was bad. That's just not good. Go with this one first. I don't think it matters if we have the cape or not, like I mentioned. And then yeah, Ocean Waves. I want to save the switch, and I want the option of Marnie or Research depending on what happens next turn. So let's get the KO on this Guru, which is still nice to remove from play. And I don't want to just sit here and wait until my opponent draws boss first and gets to hit one of my whales before I get to do anything on my side. So just be the aggressor here, get this knockout, and I'll probably quick ball away this Capacious Bucket, and then play the Marnie next turn. Probably reduce my hand size, my opponent's hand size a little bit. I mean, they currently have 6, currently rocking 6 cards in the hand. I mean, it might be about that much on the next turn. They're actually grabbing a Zamazenta, but they're probably just gonna be discarding it, I would assume. They didn't grab another Zacian to put in play though, which I find a little bit weird. Why not just go ahead and throw another Zacian in play? Maybe they don't want to just get like boss and trapped in the active, which can happen. I've had that happen quite a bit with this deck. But on their side of things, they got a ton of switch cards left, and Zacian only has 2 retreat costs, and you can like set it up with some energy at the very least on a turn. Whereas with me, I have 4 retreat costs, and I need 4 energy to set up the whale. So I think it's a little bit more involved. We'll get this Snom down, and then yeah, go ahead and play a Marty. I mean, they don't need any more this turn, so who knows if their hand is dead or alive. But 4 is less than 6, so we're gonna go ahead and reduce their hand size a little bit here. Got a cape, got a stadium. Definitely gonna throw out this stadium here, and got a whale. Stadium and Ocean Waves looking for 2 heads. 1, 2. That's all we need. No more. No reflips. Goodbye, Zacian. Get that guy out of play. Got to go through 2 more of these things unless my opponent... Well, even if they benched an Oranguru, because I did... Yeah, even if they benched an Oranguru here, doesn't really matter because I just don't have any boss. So it doesn't matter if they bench an Oranguru here because I have no boss to kind of not punish my opponent, but use to like be able to go chase the Guru, which stinks. Or even like a non-caped Zacian towards the end of the game. For some reason, if they put like 2 Zacians in play or whatever. Another Zamazenta grab here. This makes me actually just start to think they maybe just prized 2 Zacians. They maybe just prized 2 Zacians, to be honest. Maybe that's what happened here, is they just prized 2 Zacians. All right, this one's ready to go. We are going to need triple heads to get the KO here. And now without a stadium, it's going to be that much harder. And I really don't want to put Crobat in play because that's like an easier 2 prize cards for my opponent to go after. But in the current situation, maybe it's not that big of a deal because my opponent just kind of doesn't have... I do really want that stadium, though. My opponent just doesn't have another Zacian. So they can't even one-hit KO my Crobat anyways. Maybe I don't really have to worry about that, to be honest. And I do really want to... I want the stadium here. I want to go for the triple heads. That's what this deck is all about. Trying to get triple heads with the Ocean Waves. So I think I'm going to go for it here. Ooh, double retrieval is actually super sick. Just get all the energy in play right now. I was actually an insanely good top deck. And we have the other Frostmoth in the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and quick ball away this Frostmoth out of the hand. Yeah, it's actually probably the best top deck we could have got. And also a Marnie this turn wouldn't be bad either. Potentially make it so they can't even attack with the Zacian on the next turn would be pretty good. So Marnie to go with everything else that's going on right now. Wouldn't be terrible. So here we go. Crobat for 6. Stadium and Marnie. Ideally, there's the Marnie. No Stadium yet. Could play the Marnie, though, and find ourselves a Stadium. And that's what we're going to be looking for here. Could have played the Research. We would have drawn a couple more cards. No Stadium. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to go with that Ocean Waves. Ideally, we could still hit 3 heads. 2, 3. Oh my gosh, that is huge. 360 to the Zacian. Don't even need the Glimwood Tangle sometimes. Yeah, sometimes you're just lucky. And yeah, definitely what we are right here, right now. KO on that Zacian. And like I said, they don't have any other Zacians in play set up. Maybe they pulled one off the prize cards, but it's at the bottom of the deck now because of the Marnie. So another actually pretty relevant reason to want to get Marnie there was to get rid of the potential Zacians they got at that prize card. So now they have to resort to the Zamazenta, which actually 3-hit KOs Wailord Vs. It's not very good at KOing Wailord Vs at all. Top deck, the Frost. I was just about to play the level ball for it. We can go ahead and get a Snom though, which is fine. And then I can quick ball a Snom, grab myself a Wailord, grab the Wailord, quick ball the Wailord, get rid of the Wailord, grab a Crobat. I really want a Stadium here. I want to flip some more coins. So we're gonna go Frostmoth attached to the Crobat actually to basically give it free retreat. I don't want to Marnie them though because they didn't really do a whole ton on their turn. No Stadium, only 6 cards left in the deck. The Marnie would basically guarantee the Stadium. But I don't want to give them a new hit. I'm gonna let them just chill on this. I don't want to give them more cards to set up another attacker. If they want to attack, I want them to use this. Just 1 heads is okay. They actually can't heal out of range of 2 heads next turn. So a Stadium with a Stadium next turn shouldn't be too difficult to get a double heads knockout here. And we're pretty safe here. We have 2 switch left. So even if my opponent goes boss twice in a row here to try and bring up this last Crobat, we do have 2 switches to move this Crobat back to the bench. And like I said, Zamazenta actually 3-hit KOs Wailord. Super inefficient attacker into the Wailord. And actually it's my opponent that's Marnie and me. And finally we find one of those Glimwood Tangles. I think our last prize card is a Glimwood Tangle actually, because yeah, only 1 in the discard pile here. There's a Zacian. But yeah, it's 2 flips to KO the Zamazenta, 2 flips to KO the Zacian. We don't have boss anyway, so we can't really chase the Zacian. They got both of them there actually. Both Zacians a little bit late for my opponent. And yeah, here I'm just an Assault Tackle. So that means their hand probably has something to go in it. Otherwise, they maybe would have hit up that Intrepid Sword. I do want to make them work a little bit harder. So I kind of want to switch into this other Wailord. Yeah, I'm going to switch. I do want to make them work a little bit harder for this last knockout. Ocean Waves here. Heads, tails, tails. Get that reflip. Let's get that tails. Oh, can I get 1 heads? Okay, we at least get 1 heads worth of damage there. 120 on the Zamazenta. Yeah, because otherwise, if I got like no tails or no heads here, they could go like Zamazenta, knock out this Wailord, and then boss KO a Crobat with the Zacian to actually close this one out. So I didn't really want to give my opponent that opportunity. Hair Balloon to the Zacian. Maybe they did have a dead hand. Maybe they should have gone with Intrepid Sword there. Now they're playing really slow. If this is a Marnie Art Research, you kind of just play it because it's the only card in your hand. It's just a switch. Switch and Intrepid Sword is going to be the play for my opponent. So yeah, probably should have just Intrepid Sworded on the last turn instead of actually attacking with Zamazenta, because the Zacian could already KO this already. So you didn't need it anymore. Don't really want level ball in my deck anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and just play that. Probably should have played that last turn. It just doesn't do anything more. And then Ocean Waves once again. One reflip. 1, 2. 2 does it though. I was looking for that third, but 2 will do it. Zacian only with the 220. Okay, with the Ocean Waves, I'm gonna get this dub over the Zacian deck in our first one. Going second, and it looks like we both mulligan in this opening here. Let's see what we get. Couple whales. Oh, and we got the bucket as well. So another really cool thing about Wailord, we are up against Rapid Strike Urshifu, and this is actually like one of the good hands to have going second up against the Urshifu deck, to be honest, because we're not super reliant on Frostmoth as a our setup, because we can actually use draw up on our first turn. The research combos really well with just getting to that draw up early on, and we can use that. You know, the bucket helps as well, gets 2 water. We can go find a water energy build to draw up for 2, and the next turn attach, and we're using the Ocean Waves, and we're actually in like a fine spot, despite the fact that our opponent could like get off like a turn 2 Gmax Rapid Flow, which I assume that's what they're playing, and kind of knock out our Snoms here. But actually, my opponent has a pretty slow start overall. Let's go ahead and use this bucket. Like I said, definitely go the research route. Wanted to check, what did I want to check? My other whales. I've had a lot of times come up recently where my whales get stuck because I kind of overbench whales. So I'm going to go ahead and not bench this whale, because we have the other 2 whales in the deck and we just need 3 whales. So we're going to play it a little bit slower, attach here. If I had prized the Whale Lord, I probably would have benched one of those whales, because we do play 4 switch as well, so us getting it from the active onto the bench isn't that difficult. It's just that, yeah, recently I've had some unfortunate experiences that involve my whales getting stuck in the active. So we got a really good start here with the drop. My opponent had a pretty slow start, actually, and it looks like Keep Calling might have to be their follow-up here to actually get anything going, which is really, really good for us. And actually opens up the opportunity for us to maybe go some kind of boss play, depending on how many... Oh, so it is the Inteleon VMAX. Okay. Yeah, it could be a little bit more aggressive. We don't have to be. Knockout on the active should be more than fine here, to be honest. And then I think we're just gonna be playing for like triple heads basically the whole game, or as much as possible. Go for a boss play. This might be my time to try and get a KO on one of these Vs, to be honest. I think I am gonna go for this boss play. I didn't count my energy at the beginning of this game once again, which is like something I kind of want to do. Oof. This hand has that retrieval, which I don't really want to lose, but I did have... yeah, this makes me wish I had benched a whale, to be honest. Retreat, and we're going to swing. I don't want to play my stadium yet, because I just need 1 heads here. We do grab it. Yeah, we do just get that 1 heads. We just need 1 heads here. We did get it. Yeah, this would have been a good opportunity to actually use one of the bosses, actually, to be honest. Take out an Inteleon V. We remove that from play, and then if we can get a triple heads on a VMAX at some point... or if they whiff the Cheryl and we get a 2 KO, that could also work. But if we get that triple heads at some point, knock out that, and then we just need like our second boss to KO a 1 prizer in play at some point, and then that would kind of close out the game for us. So that would have definitely been a line to look for. Here comes a Marnie from my opponent, so don't lose our retrievals, which is a pretty big deal. Unless we have all 10 waters in the deck and the other retrieval, don't really want to lose our retrievals basically ever. The draw is not great. Once again, no Whale Lord to put these energy on, so I don't really want to lose them to the research, but I didn't count my energy, so I might be fine to lose these energy if I just counted my energy, but I didn't. But with how little damage they actually do, we could probably pull off a drop later on in the game. So hopefully we just top deck a Whale Lord, don't really have to worry about it. And yeah, like I said, should have counted my energy, didn't do it, so kind of getting punished for that. There's a Marnie top deck, but Marnie is a little bit slow. Disrupts their hand very slightly. Would mean they would kind of have to use the artillery, maybe to go with the Rapid Strike energy, 1 less card to work with. Maybe I will just go with the Marnie, conserve the energy. And we're probably not getting knocked out next turn, like I mentioned, so probably fine. Found a Glimbo Tangle, found a level ball, found double boss, which does absolutely nothing for us. Probably gonna have to get a Crobat with this, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the Frostmoth. Get the Frostmoth, throw that down. Glimbo Tangle, and try and hit triple heads here. And then I think we're just gonna hold the rest of the hand for now. I could Crobat this turn. Let's go, triple heads. Would you like to flip again? No. Goodbye, Inteleon VMAX. Huge KO there right off the rip. Oh my goodness, that gives us so much time and kind of space to work with. It feels like, oh, double slam off the prize cards is a little bit slow, but actually now our hand is lining up where we could go with like boss just on like 2 smaller Pokemon from here on out. And just try and close out the game that way, to be honest. We don't even have to like KO another VMAX. We could go that route as well. Oh, and here comes a Basculin. This actually makes it maybe a little bit easier for us to go that route as well, because we don't have to boss twice anymore. We just need a boss once. So this might make it a little bit easier to go around the KO Basculin boss route. But yeah, the Basculin will KO us actually, or just barely. With the quick shooting, they will get the KO with the Basculin. Yeah, so the quick shooting will give them the KO here. And I might be benching... I don't really want to bench another Snom. I might be benching another Snom here on the next turn, though, to clear out some space in this hand to actually draw some cards with the Crobat. Because right now, our hand is pretty clogged. We do not have a ton going on. Here comes the Shady Dealings. Maybe my opponent will help me out with a Marnie once again. So now, like, initially, I was, like, saying I didn't want to bench that Whale Lord, but now I kind of wish I had. And to be honest, maybe I'm like overthinking the... Like, I play 4 switch as long as I have 4 switch in the deck. My opponent is helping me out with Marnie once again. So shout out to my opponent so far in this one. And a great draw off that Marnie. The air balloon, the whale, the water, the research. So we just need to find a couple more water and get this KO on this Basculin. And then from there, we're going to be in a great spot. They can actually go in with the... That seems a little bit risky to go with the Inteleon here. They're going with the Basculin, but like I said, this lines me up perfectly. KO this Basculin, then boss KO a 1 prizer off the bench, which is like no problem to do. The triple heads on the Inteleon VMAX can be a little bit difficult. A single heads on a Octillery, or 2 heads maybe even on an Inteleon, that's no problem at all for the whale. And we got the cape to go with it, so that's a nice draw as well. The cape's not super great overall, to be honest, because with the quick shootings, they probably are going to be able to set up like 2-hit KOs on our whales. They might not always be able to get the 2 KO, but I feel like most of the time they should be able to. I'm gonna go with the retrieval here. Actually, I was about to play that bucket, but the retrieval we can for sure use. Yeah, I definitely want to play it like this. This is definitely correct for sure. And gun and retreat, and I don't see a reason to play anything else. Ocean waves. Let's get 1 heads here. There we go. Boom, knock on the back. We are a boss away now from closing this one out. Yeah, Wailord really can beat anything. That massive amount of HP. You sometimes get triple heads on the ocean waves, and it's just, that's it. That's game. And that's the way these last 2 have gone. Nice, clean triple heads play. And then we just kind of have to scrap together the last little bit of the game, really, to be honest. There's not too much more for us to do before this one is closed out. A top deck Wailord would be really good here. We have basically everything we need. And there's the concede for my opponent. That's it. They're done. And we get another dub with the Wailord. Yeah, the triple heads can put us so far ahead sometimes. Yeah, we're gonna be able to close that one out almost for sure in the next turn or 2. We didn't have to do it next turn. We had like 3, maybe even 4 turns actually before we had to win that game, to be honest. We had a lot of time there. We had a lot of time to find that boss and maybe even set up another Wailord to then combo with the boss, or even maybe we just get a triple heads on the Inteleon. Who knows? But that's the dub. If you guys enjoyed these games with the Wailord, make sure you give the video a like. If you enjoyed the content, you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.